Hello, welcome to the Everyday Players podcast, Game Week 10, with your host, Matthew Chan, the secret author, and his secret manager today, sponsor or cheerleader, Tony Buxton.
Hello, everyone.
And then, Mr. I've gone through all your achievements, so you're not getting any more special mentions, my brother, Ryan Chan.
Yeah. I was thinking that. I knew you'd run out at some point. Yeah. Hello, everyone.
So, Tony, tell us a little bit about your, obviously, your sponsor, your cheerleader behind you in that background there.
So this is my rabbit's foot that you mentioned a couple of weeks ago. Like, you've got your garlic. This is my dad. For people, obviously, who know me, know that this is my dad, Aitor Karanka. He's my good luck charm. Manager of Middlesbrough. The reason why we're so bad now is because this guy left. So, following my poor game week this week, I thought I need something, like, I'm going to be a bit superstitious. So I'm going to have this photo behind me, all podcast, and it's going to bring in the luck. And I'm going to go on a run of form starting next week, even though I've took a minus. And that's it, and it'll all be down to this. I advise you both do the same.
So is that it? Is it just basically down to luck? Is that the superstitious? Just, I mean, he looks delighted there to be sat behind you.
He's
Yeah.
buzzing, isn't he?
Proud dad looking down. Even when I've had a rusty week, he's still proud of me.
For those of you that are just listening, obviously, picture of Aitor Karanka looking delighted. He's got a beaming smile on his face. Gentlemen, how's it gone for you this week? What player has impressed you?
Ryan, go first.
Yeah, I've done all right in the end. I mean, 75, which was above the average. I brought Bruno Fernandes in. Glad about that. We're captain, got me 22 points. So overall, yeah, it was a decent week.
Yeah, I mean, with Bruno, he was like the obvious choice, wasn't he, this week? I think the main thing was with Salah testing positive for COVID. It was the easy transfer. So I think nearly everyone had him. And I think a lot of managers captained him this week. He was the most captained anyway. I don't know the exact numbers.
Yeah.
But that's just how it worked. I mean, Tony, did you have Bruno?
No, I didn't. I went for De Bruyne instead. I took a minus for it too, and obviously they blanked again.
Could pay off this week though, Tony. At least you've got the transfer already, and you've got them in for this week, and then next week. Was that your thinking? That was your thinking, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's starting. Have you seen my midfield now? By the way, no one's getting to see it, right? Except you two know. My midfield is unbelievable now, right? Honest to God. So just wait for that. De Bruyne's still in there too. Like, nice row of 5 legends there.
Oh, you're giving it away. Who are you playing this week, Tony?
I'm playing Liam and I'm playing Dave Rawson.
Right, I'll be giving a message, making sure that they're listening.
You cheeky bitch.
My name's not Matthew. I won't do that.
Hey, Tony.
And the grass and Ryan the bitch.
Tony, you'll probably be thankful that I told Ainsley in the end, because he still would have took minus 20. He still would have beat you.
Oh,
That would have been embarrassing.
I have feelings. I'm not here to fall out with you. Right.
I'm just saying.
You're
probably
that,
thankful
that
thankfully he done a free hit in the end.
Oh, piss off.
So, all right. So, I mean, this talk, we do like to see it a little bit as counselling. I know, Tony, you've had a really hard week, haven't you, this week? You've been a bit snappy, haven't you? Is there anything you want to get out, you want to confess to us all, or just open up about?
You're asking out with me, and you're trying to make me get angry. I'm not going to get angry. We can still use this as a counselling session if you like, but I've learned to just like settle myself down, not lose my head too much. I've set myself a plan in place for the rest of the season, so I'm more or less throwing the next game week, and after that, it means my team is how I wanted it to be for like a month and a half. That team will smash both of the leagues. It gives me a 4 to 5 week window to get to Christmas, like January, and get back up to the top 10 in Pride League, and hopefully take top spot a few in Big Money League.
So, Tony, do you think that this plan will mean that you won't be doing any transfers for the next few weeks? Is that just like straight on. You know it's going to work. You're that confident, are you?
I know it will. I know for a fact. No more hits. I'm taking Liam's advice. No more hits after this week. I've gifted him a game here.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? I mean, to be honest, I was nearly the one who was going to be, kicking off, if you like, this week. I was playing in the big money league, if you like, had a healthy lead, and then I was playing against Dan Rowe, and he had Robertson and Jota, got him 21 points, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, when Robertson assisted Jota, I was just thinking, literally, I was absolutely fuming. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I got saved in the last day. I did have a bit of work to do, but I was nearly absolutely fuming with that. To be fair,
there was some nasty names getting put in that chat about Robertson. He's hard.
I know.
He's hard. He'd lace you all over if he's I would say.
Yeah. All I'm saying is I'm glad we don't do a slide, otherwise it wouldn't work, would it? Losing followers.
See, it was the other way for me. Contrasting view, because Andy Robertson, he kind of saved my game week. On the Saturday, I was behind in both, behind by 8. I only had Kufal and Andy Robbo against Jordan Swales. So 2 defenders against Vardy and Saha, and I thought, I'm up against it again. Jordan Swales, he was giving it like, I'm very confident I'm going to beat. He messaged me at like 1 o'clock, like, I'm very confident I'm going to beat you. Like, before, I think the first game was even finished. So he was giving it that. But yeah, Andy Robbo, Kufal, Calvert-Lewin got 31 points for me on that Sunday and just swung it around, and that's it. It's just contrasting views. And funny you should mention, obviously, the main man for this week, Jota, is he now becoming like too much of a risk? Something hard to ignore. I mean, for his price and everything.
I mean, he is one of them, isn't he? That's going to be. He's selected in a lot of teams. I haven't got him in mind simply because really I can only get rid of him for Grealish, but I'm just deciding I'm just going to stick with Grealish. I mean, he is the most transferred in this week, 485k. So yeah, a lot of people are going for him, but I just can't make room for him at the minute.
What about you, Tony?
Well, I don't know, because I don't think he's probably going to play a few games coming up, but he's not going to replace Mane or Salah. And I seen a couple of weeks ago that they actually played him instead of Firmino, but it didn't really fit as well, I don't think. So I don't know. Say if he plays like the next game or a couple of games and he doesn't do out, which I don't think he will, especially if he's playing up top, then it's just going to be a waste and it's going to be taking minus to get him back out. I wouldn't touch him, but I can see why people.
I think though, he's becoming that hard to ignore. Where he just keeps scoring, in the Premier League, Champions League, where it doesn't matter if he gets 20 minutes or 90 minutes. He just seems to score at the moment. Maybe he's just on a bit of a purple patch. You get players that just go on form and just go on runs and score goals. Me personally, I'm debating getting him, but I think I'd have to drop Ziyech down to him. And then I'd have to strengthen my fifth midfielder, Jorginho, to another. I can get Saha, or I can go a bit cheaper and just go for a Jared Bowen. Them type. Yeah, exactly. There's him as well. And I mean, he's cheap as chips. So
you love him.
I've got him out at the moment, but he's such a threat. He had another glorious chance against Sheffield United, where I think header in the air and bit of composure, just side-footed. He side-footed it wide, but maybe you can only score with his head, and that's saying that. He scored against Fulham with his feet, so...
Yeah, it was poor finish, the one against Sheffield United. He definitely should have scored, but I think, I mean, 6.7, for me, I just like people who I know definitely start, and I know he has started quite a bit recently, but you just never know with the Liverpool team. I don't know. I just can't make room for him at the minute. No.
And what about? I mean, probably one of the tips for this week. What a lot of people are getting is Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
Are you a target Fulham type guy? They play Fulham this week. See, Calvert-Lewin scored 2 against them last week. People are tipping him for big things this week. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think he could do. Obviously, he's got some good fixtures coming up as well. So he's obviously got Fulham, Sheffield United, and Brighton. But again, it's like, who do you replace him for? So really, I could only replace him for Kane in my squad, and I'm sort of just set on Kane. I've never really thought about getting rid of him, to be honest. I'm just gonna leave him in there. But yeah, Vardy, he is one that could do well, and he goes through patches, doesn't he? Where he bangs for fun. So, but I'm just gonna leave him for now.
Yeah, and I think go on. I was just going to say, I think obviously we'll touch on that regarding form over fixtures a little bit later. Tony, obviously, just going to gather your thoughts on Vardy, and then if you can just go through your team, just tell us what happened this week.
Yeah, I agree with what Ryan said about Vardy, but I'm not going to get him. He doesn't fit in my team. Sack him off. I've got the absolute gang team now.
I think looking at your team, you'd have to do a lot of work to try and get him in, especially with a heavy midfield.
Yeah. I don't want him.
Yeah, fair enough. The
main reason I got rid of Kane, I don't want massive, big, expensive strikers. You can just leave Calvert-Lewin there all season for like 7 point, whatever the hell he is. Who cares? And then that'll do the job, and you can get all your midfielders in, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got a clear game plan there with 5 big midfielders. Do you want to go through your team for this week, your points?
Yeah, sure. So I got 49 points, -4 on 45. Ryan in goal, 3 points. Justin, 0. Lamptey, -1. Bellerin, 9. Walker-Peters, 3. Son, 10. Rodriguez, 2. Ziyech, 6. De Bruyne, 2. Ayew, 2. Calvert-Lewin, 13. I'll start with Brighton, right? Because I've got 2 Brighton players. So Ryan got 3 points. He actually made a couple of worldy saves throughout that game. I don't know if you've seen it. It was one of the best football matches I've seen in the canny good while in the Prem, if I'm honest, even though it was only 2-1 or whatever it was. But Lamptey is actually like one of the best player on that pitch on that night. And then he just got 2 yellow cards, like in the 90th minute and the 90+1 or whatever it was. So he obviously got me -1. If they didn't let that goal in, I'd have been looking at possible wins in both leagues, because the clean sheets off Ryan and the clean sheets off Lamptey and the bonuses they both would have got would have changed it all completely. But never mind. Bellerin, 9 points. He didn't really do anything. He was pretty poor the whole game, but he managed to get 3 bonuses somehow.
He actually got. I mean, at one point he was unlucky. He nearly got an assist, to be honest.
Yeah,
for Saka.
Good ball that as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like he done all game. But then Saka got the ball and completely forgot he was playing football and just ran to the corner flag and let the keeper chase him down. But yeah, whatever. That was shit and all.
He done well, to be honest, the keeper. Got to give him a bit of credit there.
He stayed tall.
Yeah, but he just whacked that straight away. What was he doing? He was like dancing with him, like, no, just hit the ball, man.
Well, that was like my finish, wasn't it? When against Martin.
Which one? You had about 12, didn't you?
Yeah, well, the one where I ran off the pitch, took it around the keeper. You don't need to smack it.
Yeah, decent.
Knackered, like.
Yeah, my wingers and that need to take a leaf out your book, Chan, mate. Rodriguez and Ziyech and that. The new position, mate, the winger/CDM, what's that all about? Rodriguez does it, Ziyech does it. Podence, I first noticed it with him back about a month ago. Wingers are coming and sitting central, extremely deep, and just sort of like dictating the play like a centre midfielder would. Ziyech is all right, because when he gets it on his left, he whips it in and he'll still get assists. But like Rodriguez and players like Podence and that, there's no room in the team for him anymore. Like, I've lost my patience with Rodriguez completely now. They're like assists of the assisters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he is a bit more of an assist. Obviously, he's a good ball player and he's a creative spark in Everton. But
yeah, he's awesome. He's just like accepted the role of like, I'm going to run the game instead of trying to get in front of the goal now, which I'm pissed off about, so he can do one.
Just got a question. When you think of midfielders, do you ever think of the balance of your midfield? So, for example, when looking at that, Rodriguez, Ziyech, De Bruyne, they're all like kind of sit a bit deeper, line playmakers who like pass the ball, knock the ball around, don't necessarily get in the box. But obviously you got Son, who's kind of like a an attacking. He's almost like a striker. Salah's almost like a striker. Mane's like a striker. Jota's like a striker. Do you ever think if you've got too many people that just sit back, or?
Yeah, like I've come to realise that like this week. Obviously, Rodriguez hadn't scored in a couple, and I'm sort of sticking with him, but he does that, so I shouldn't have had him. Like you said, there's too many players that do that. You can have De Bruyne because he's just lethal. He can always pull some out of the bag. But like Rodriguez and Ziyech, if Ziyech has like a dead week or 2 dead weeks.
Sorry about that. Very busy man.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, you're right.
But I mean, looking at your team, what I'm thinking is, I think with, obviously it's up to you what you do with your team. With the defenders, you've got quite a lot of 4.55 million, and you've got essentially 5 defenders. Would you think maybe just to sacrifice one of, like, for example, size, swap him for Kilman, there's like 1 million, and then you could strengthen either Bellerin to like Chilwell, or you could strengthen Ayew to Bamford or anything like that?
I've kind of already dabbled with it. I had to a little bit to get my midfield, but I'm keeping Bellerin. I still quite like him, but you'll see this weekend it's a full revamp on this team now.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll hold you to your word on that one.
Yeah.
And then, so Ryan, do you want to just go through your team? 75 points, is it? -4?
75 points, -4, yeah. So I had McCarthy was 7 in goal, Zuma 6, Charlie Taylor 7, Kilman 2, Grealish and Sterling 1 each, Fernandes as captain 22, Son was 10, Bamford 10, Kane 4, and Calvert-Lewin 13. So yeah, overall a decent game week. As I mentioned earlier, I'm happy I captained Fernandes. I've never really debated anyone else, to be honest. I mean, I could have had Calvert-Lewin, who would have got me more, but I mean, that's good enough for me. Had my game week saved a little bit on the last day with McCarthy and Taylor getting 7 each. I mean, yeah, they made me win in the big money league, as we call it. So I think I got off to a flyer, to be honest. On Saturday, I was on decent points, and then on Sunday, a lot of people caught up with like Liverpool players. But yeah, overall, 75 points. I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my team now. It's just thinking about how and when I'm going to get Salah back. I've always said that I want to try and get Salah back. Well, just keep Salah throughout the season, to be honest, if he's fit. So I'm just sort of like thinking of what transfers to make and when to get him back, which game week to get him back. I'm hoping as well that Sterling as well will finally turn it on. I'm hoping Man City can just actually start doing something. I mean, I've had him for ages, him and De Bruyne, and they just haven't done anything. But I mean, Burnley at home this week, and then obviously Nick Pope's out with a head injury as well. So hopefully they'll score a few more with a different keeper in goal.
Yeah, this has got to be the game for them to turn it around, has to be. But Burnley just coming off a win, and they're just a tricky, horrible, big physical defensive side. But this has got to be the week for City.
Yeah, they've had 2 clean sheets in a row now, Burnley. So I don't know if they're sort of getting momentum. They've got Ben Mee back as well. Well, he's been back for the past 2 games, so defensively they do look a bit better now.
I think though in the past, Burnley, very good defensively at Turf Moor, happy place Turf Moor, but at the Etihad against the bigger teams, against City, I think on a bigger pitch, I think they might struggle. I think on the results they drew 1 game 1-1, but apart from that, they've been quite beat by them quite convincingly. So, I mean, we're all hoping for City to turn it around. A lot of the experts have been waiting on this City fixture list, to upturn straight away. I mean, that's what we're getting at. But quick question then. Obviously, you're looking to get Salah in.
Yeah.
I'm thinking game week 12, maybe against Fulham. Yeah. But let's say Sterling then does well for the next 2 games. Would you swap Sterling out for Salah, or would you just stick with him?
I think I'll still swap him for Salah, even if he does well. I mean, the only other option really, I could possibly Fernandes, or I could downgrade Kane to someone a bit cheaper, then swap Grealish for Salah. But even still, I think that's probably out of my price range. So I think I'm still planning on getting Salah back, even regardless of what Sterling does, to be honest.
No matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I know they've got. I think we've got Man U in 3 game weeks as well. So,
but then West Brom straight after that.
Yeah, I know they've got some decent fixtures after that as well. But I don't know. I'll play it by ear.
Yeah, I think 1 week's a long time in fantasy football. Really, like someone does well 1 week, that you really want them, and then what happens? Then they don't do too well. It kind of changes your mind. Yeah. And it kind of plays into the fact of, our main topic this week then is, I see you've got Sterling, Tony's got De Bruyne. So with our main topic today, when you come to players, do you pick them up from fixtures, strong fixtures, or do you pick them over form? Ryan?
I'm a bit on the fence with this one, to be honest. I've been thinking for a long time. It's a bit of a happy medium. I think it's just getting the balance right. I think a little bit more on form. But to be honest, I'd never transfer an out of form player, regardless of fixtures. But it works the same way that I'd never transfer an in-form player, whether they've got difficult fixtures. I think, I probably go a little bit more of form. I think, especially like captaincy, I do go quite a bit of form, providing I don't have difficulty game of like 4 or 5. I do try and pick it off form over fixtures usually. I think I do fixtures a lot more with defenders. I'll pick players where defenders when they'll just have a few, I don't know, 5 or 6 decent games coming up. I'll do it in that case of going for fixtures.
Yeah, and Tony?
Yeah, I think form. I think it's been proven a bit this season. Like, you can use Bamford for an example, Maupay at the beginning of the season, Calvert-Lewin continuous, like in form, getting the points each week. I know Maupay, I've used him as an example, he's not so much now, but at the beginning of the season, it didn't matter who he was playing, he was scoring money. So I would definitely go for form over fixtures. And there's multiple times where I've got players in who are playing Fulham or West Brom, and it hasn't necessarily paid off. So form.
Currently. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tend to agree with both of you, actually. I think I'm more of a form guy. I do see the appeal of fixtures. So, Man City, they've got these appealing fixtures, which aren't seem to be like too hard. There also is other cases where, Calvert-Lewin last week against Fulham, there's fixtures, 13 points. Same as Bruno last week, he played West Brom, got 11 points. So there is a bit of substance to having the fixtures, but I myself, I believe in form. For example, I know a lot of, the experts are saying Spurs have got a hard game, get Kane and Son out, but why, they're playing so well against anyone. And there's no team where, even the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal and City, I don't feel like they're that good defensively where they're going to keep them out. Just stick with, the players in good form. There was Vardy last year who smashed it over December. Obviously, you had Bruno after lockdown. It's just easy to go over someone with good form.
Yeah, I think there seems to be, all the good players can score against anyone, regardless of who they're playing. The attackers seem to just be able to score against anyone. So I don't see the point in getting rid of players just because of so-called hard fixtures. When I just don't see it. As you said, with Son and I know we mentioned it a few times in the podcast about his record against Man City, and I know a lot of people took him out, but I mean, we did call that. It's easy saying it now that he did score against Man City, but it's just I'd never take him out.
I thought a lot more people would have got rid of them, but there's still a couple that kept them. I think my opponents, both had Son and Kane, because I know a lot of Fantasy Premier League podcasts and whatever and pages were advising people to get rid. I got rid of Kane. Even if Kane was still scoring, I know he got an assist. I still wanted rid just so I could make my team, but I was never getting rid of Son. We like you just said, Ryan. We said we thought he would score against City, and there's no stopping him. So the form is the way, innit?
Yeah, there's no easy replacement, I think, for Son anyway, because you have to downgrade to like a Grealish or Saha. I think I'd rather just keep him, like no matter who they play. And okay, then going on to the next topic, which probably ties into this the most. We're going to talk about team of the week, Man City. So they're perfect. They're perfect embodiment of this topic. Such good fixtures for the next 10, 12 games, but poor form. I mean, 10 goals in 9 games for a Man City team.
8 games.
8 games, sorry. You can't ignore that. And there's only so much where you can give them excuse, like, oh, they're still attacking really well, and until it's just, no, they're not getting the job done. So what do you think then on Man City?
Yeah, can I say what I think the biggest problem with them is? I think it's the business they've done, the transfers. Like the 3 biggest transfers, Ake, Diaz and Ferran Torres. I quite like Ake, right? But I think I didn't expect that price tag. Also, he's out, isn't he? But Ferran Torres, where he plays, you look at the players who played there or play there now, like an attacking winger, like Sané playing there, Mahrez. I know the different wings and stuff, but he does not compete with them at all. His stats are pretty weak considering. I know it's still early, but what he's already done, like I think he only has like 1 assist in the Prem. Scored a couple in the Champions League, but like they just haven't got the players. And Aguero's being out. The business was poor.
Yeah, he's done well in the Champions League, hasn't he? I think that's the main thing. And
even in Spain as well, didn't he? He scored a hat-trick, didn't he, against Germany?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So he's been, I mean, what was he, like 7.5? Was he 7 minutes? I'm not too sure. But he's going to get rotated. I mean, he's been, from the pundits, they're all saying he's done well, like attacking-wise. He makes some good runs. Obviously, he just doesn't quite have the finishing and, you know, like Jesus and Aguero. And maybe on the wing, he's not quite there. You know, Sané in the past few seasons, Mahrez, obviously Sterling. He's not maybe quite there yet. But with the attack, are you then... I mean, sorry, we talk a little bit about the attack, don't we? But what about the defence? Do you think they're going to keep, like, clean sheets?
I think you thought so, yeah. I think defensively, to be honest, they're not too bad. And I mean, there is a few. I think he's keeping the same players in a bit more now. It's Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo, and Walker. So he's sticking with that a bit more. I just think an interesting stat. I'm going back to the attacking. You know how many goals he scored. But last season he scored 27 goals after 8 games. You know, this season 10. It's absolutely mental that. You know, last season, by this point, Aguero and Sterling had 6 goals each. And then this season, Sterling...
Do you think it's solely because they've been without Aguero, or do you think there's just something not there this year?
I just something missing, I think.
I just think Man City as a whole, I just sort of... Obviously, not as good as they were last season before. I do think they missed David Silva a lot as well.
Yeah.
I don't think they realise how much they miss him, and they miss that sort of creative spark a little bit. And I think it's the same with every team, isn't it? You know, they hit the heights that much for the past, 2 or 3 seasons. It's hard to just maintain that level, and sooner or later they are just going to drop off, which it seems like they are. I mean, they're having like all the possession and stuff like that exactly the same. Well, maybe a little bit less, but they just don't seem to. I don't know, they're just not quite clicking yet, but hopefully Sterling does the job this week and next week.
Yeah, they have to. It's such an important game, although people might not think it. If anything goes wrong with this game, and say, for example, the other big dogs win, they're going to start getting left behind. It's going to end up being too late before they know it.
Yeah, well, that's it. Could they be out the title race? I mean, with City, I think... They're falling a bit behind. I think they will come through it this week.
Yeah.
And even next week. It's just, we expect that they'll come through convincingly. And they might only get like a 1-0 or a 2-0. But
yeah, I think Man City are one of them. They're one of them teams in the league that can literally, I feel like they can just win like 6, 7 in a row, and they can just like do something like that. I think, to be honest, I only think that them and Liverpool can do it. I think the others might, I don't know, a bit more capable of slipping up, but City sort of do have that firepower in the team, you know, to do that, to go on them wins, but we just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So from a fantasy point, would you double up in attack like with Sterling or De Bruyne or anything like that? Or what about Jesus? Do you think he might be worth a shout with their favourable fixtures? Or
I think Jesus is a decent shout. I know he's not owned by many players, but I mean Aguero, he came on for the Champions League, so obviously he's getting back fit. They've got a lot of attacking players, but nah, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure with Jesus. I'm happy enough with my front line. I don't know. I'll maybe consider a City defender. You know, I think Cancelo. He's done pretty well. Walker's in there.
But Mendy's back now, so that might throw a span in the work.
Yeah. So I think his game time could be reduced slightly.
But he also plays right back as well, can't he? Cancelo.
Yeah. Well, he's right.
So he's got two. He's like what's the word? Bit of a utility defender then. So you can get in this team like in more than 2 ways. I think, what is he, 5.5 years?
Yeah, 5.5, yeah. I think he's 5.5. So decent
Just
price for a City defender, I'd say.
They're just expensive though, aren't they? And that's it. But, right, well, I'll just go through my team then. There's a couple of points. So 80 points, -8 though. 72. Got McCarthy for 7, Kilman for 2, Kufal for 6, Robertson for 12, Justin for 0, Fernandez for 11, 3 for Ziyech, Son got 20 as captain, De Bruyne 2, Calvert-Lewin 13, Kane 4. So there's a couple of points obviously I want to make. First point, I think with captaincy, just trust your gut. And my gut was telling me I'm going for Son. With his record against Man City, I took a gamble, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to ask you something. It could be a bit of a revolutionary thing. Don't you think? If you gamble, like, a captain against, like, someone fixture difficulty rating of 4 or 5, you should get an extra point or something as captain.
What, for bravery? Extra point for bravery?
Just for bravery and courage, you know what I mean?
You'll be asking for a knighthood soon.
But I'd be bottom of both leagues if that was the case, because I love a good little risky gamble.
I know, but what happened? I'm more than happy. Obviously, Son got the 10, but I could have just played it safe and just got Fernandez for 11. So I was happy with both. It was good for my points that Son and Bruno did do something. Probably disappointing for my overall rank, and it made it harder for me to win the game. I think a little bit, though, my hands were tied because Salah had COVID. The obvious transfer was going to Fernandez, and I knew that, and I knew they were going to captain Fernandez. I had to go for something a little bit different as well.
Yeah, especially with the -8 as well. Sometimes you're playing catch-up, so you might have to take risks.
Exactly, and I mean, ultimately it paid off. I mean, at the end of the day, I pulled it out on the Sunday as well. Like I was saying earlier, Robertson 12, Kufal was 6, Calvert-Lewin with 13, pulled back a 17-point lead against Luke Fleming, beat Jordan Swales, so it was 8 points down, and then even McCarthy getting 7 when he even conceded a goal, which is kind of unheard of. And I think at the end of the day, you need a little bit of good fortune as well. So I can
More than good fortune. What is wrong with this bonus system in Southampton? They're getting bonus just for rocking up, man.
Well, you need to get them.
I don't. I have Walker Peters, and he gets man one every time he starts.
Who are you complaining about there, McCarthy?
Yeah, he's just Southampton.
Class. He made so many saves. He made 3 saves within like the first 5 minutes or something. He actually was. He definitely deserved 3 points, honestly.
No, that's nothing. That. Did you not see me on the season where we won a bead, and when I was in that, I was making 20 in the first.
How many bonus points did you get?
No, Andy would have got the 3 bonus points for scoring, I think. Scoring the winning goal. But yeah, like I was saying with good fortune, Brewster assisted McBurney and he should have scored, and that could have been game over there. And then the other thing was, obviously, Saha self-isolating.
Yeah.
Came to the last game, John Swales messaged me like, oh, Saha's self-isolating, he's not there. And I was like, get in there. That's all I want to do with that. Kiss the lucky garlic.
Garlic, innit?
Hey.
There you go. It's working for you, man. I'm happy.
I know. So I'll just obviously go through a little bit of the stand-up cup. We've just got a couple of minutes left. Ryan Ainsley's still top. I think manager of the month's a bit of a shootout between Liam Taylor or Ryan Chan, depending maybe who wins this last game. Maybe even Ant Wilson or Craig Errington's kind of snuck in there as well. That's fit at the moment. Yeah. It's weird because his points rank's only like 15th out of 22, and he's fit at the moment. Yeah. Just kind of works out that way. And obviously Tony's down in your 7th highest points, but down in 17, so it's a little bit down on his luck at the moment.
I know where I went wrong. Getting Matty Cash out.
I've got a quick question.
He had a blinder.
I've got
a
quick question about the Stanhope Cup. I've been doing some maths. What do you think the average score is in so overall point score in the Stanhope Cup?
Mega.
What do you mean, like total points?
Yeah, average total points, or the sum of all that divided by the 22. What do you think about the averages?
I'll have to work that out. Like that is, but I'd say
a rough guess. I don't expect you to get it right.
I reckon about 500, to be honest. I think that's about right. I mean, got Harry's on the highest, 582. We've got plenty that are in that, like, from there until the 540 range.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, there's a few stragglers at the bottom, just touching 400. So I reckon about 500.
Tony?
I agree, roughly, about that, too.
Can I tell you how much it is?
Yeah, go on, then.
612.
498.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
see,
I'll give you that.
I know, like, I know my own league and that. But I tell you what, you work out the money league then for next week.
I've already worked it out.
All right, okay. Wait there.
It's funny you should ask that.
Funny. Right, okay. There's a bit of the league table.
Right.
I'm looking at that. Got a couple of minutes here. Curtis Kirby's got the most points now, ahead of me.
Yeah, he's doing well, Curtis Kirby. He's smashing it.
I reckon about 485.
400 what?
85.
Right.
468.
You know how much?
468.
500.
Oh!
Two more. 499.7 to be precise.
I tell you what, that is close then.
Yeah.
So, what's the better league then?
It's similar then, really, isn't it? I suppose it just depends, literally, who you play. Stanhope Cup, I think I'm 6-3, and then, 5-4. It's only one difference, but I've been struggling in the big money league a bit more, even though it's similar standard, I'd say. Right.
Well, that's all we've got time for today. Remember to like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Everyday Players FPL. We're going to have a new thumbnail, so thank you, Ryan Ainsley. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Ainsley.
Good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later.